Hey everyone, so here we are, 2018 F150. We're about to install the Delta Force Flowmaster intake on a 5.0 F150. So, got the camera set up on the airbox, the factory airbox. The first thing we're going to do is loosen this. Alright, got that clamp loose, and then we're going to pop the clips off around the airbox. There's, and slide cover out, and then this should be loose. Pop the lid right off, and then remove the factory air filter. Alright, so I'm gonna have to hold the camera for this so you can see, but next thing we need to do is pop this hose right here out of this little groove on top, and then in the back there's going to be 2 connections. We're going to pop those off and then loosen it from down here and take out this whole factory piece of tubing. Alright, so once you loosen all that, a little bit of finagling, it should come right out. And then we'll move over here. I've got it laid out. We're going to assemble the heat shield. There's 3 screws that go in here. Get this ready. The hardware is in this pack that came with the intake. So stand by and we'll get this heat shield assembled. So now we got the heat shield. You can see the 1, 2, 3 holes, hopefully. We're gonna take that and our adapter with the 3 threaded holes and slide that in, line up the holes, and we're going to use the supplied hardware, 3 bolts, 3 washers, and 3 lock washers, and we'll go ahead and assemble this. We'll start all 3 and get them in a little ways, and then we'll go back and tighten them up. And these are Allen key or hex head bolts, so you will need an Allen wrench or a set of Allen keys in order to really snug these up. So it's like 1 more to put in here at the bottom, and got that started. I'm gonna go grab a set of Allen keys. So next step is to take your rubber gasket and start opposite the filter and in the middle, and we're just gonna work it around the edge. When we get back to where we started, we'll trim off the excess. So this has a nice little groove in it. It's pretty snug. Start about in the middle, doesn't have to be perfect, and just push it down over. And work it the whole way around till you get back to the starting point. Okay, so I got the trim on, or the seal on. Not gonna lie, it was a pain. This is really tight, and the corners were hard to get around, but got it on. So next, we need to take one of the couplers. There's 2, but they're both the same, and put a clamp on both sides, and slide it onto the airbox like so. Get it seated on flush. All right, so once we got that on, we're going to open the air filter and get that in the airbox. So, flip this over, and this opening will slide over top of this and we'll clamp it on. Filter seated in the air box. All the clamps are loose. Next step is to take this over to the truck and set it in its location. So let's go to the truck. All right, so we're gonna set this in, and the back has these little tabs. It's gonna slide into the factory air box. And should sit down there perfect. And then we're going to use the factory little straps to snap the airbox back in, like so. All right, I believe that completes that part of the installation. Onto the intake tube. All right, so we got the filter in the box in the truck. Now we got to prep the tube. There's two threaded places for these barbs for the connections in there, and it says use 2 wraps of plumber's tape. I'm using a Loctite pipe sealant. Accomplish the exact same thing. Gonna put a little bit on that. On the one, they're both the same, so you don't have to try to figure out which one goes where. Start that. Do the same for the other side. They don't thread in super far. So. All right, so we got those in. We're gonna grab our last coupler and clamps. Put one on that side, slide that on, and then we have another clamp for the other side. At this point, I think we head back to the truck. All right, so it's kind of a tight fit. That's why you do not want to tighten any of your clamps prior to getting it lined up. I think we're good now though. So we're gonna go back through and snug up these clamps. All right, so we've got this securely in place. If you remember when we took out the old system, we disconnected these 2 hoses. Well, we have these 2 pieces here that come with the Flowmaster kit. They're different sizes. The small one goes in the small one, obviously, the large one goes in the large one. So first off, we're gonna take the small one, just insert it in there, and it's gonna lock into place. And the same thing should happen with the bottom one. Actually, it's got a different style clamp. You gotta kind of open it up, push it in, and then you'll feel it lock into place. All right, so then what we need to do, once we have that done, is there's a supplied piece of tubing. It says cut it approximately in half, 1 for each side, and we're going to use these small little clamps that come with the kit, and there's 4 of them. 1 will go on each side of each connection, and that should finish everything up. So I'm going to go ahead, cut this in half, and start getting that hooked up. All right, guys, it's done. You can see the 2 clamps there are on and tight. The piece that I just had to install was right there. Those 2 hose pieces, I cut them to size, installed the clamp on both ends, and just slide them on. Tighten these 2 clamps up here. You got your filter there, and there you have it. It's installed. As far as tools go, it's pretty simple, basic hand tools. A wrench, a driver for the clamps. I used a pair of dikes here to cut the hose. pretty straightforward. You should be able to wrap it up in about 45 minutes with basic hand tools. Thanks for watching. Please share and subscribe.